Do good, Maverick. Go here. Avoid lifestyle imprisonment. In the book The Millionaire FASTLANE by MJ DEMARCO, one concept he talks about is lifestyle imprisonment. He also calls it lifestyle servitude. And the concept is basically that there are different things that can kind of lock you in to lifestyle imprisonment. And it's especially debt, loans. So, for example, if you take out a loan to buy a car, and the loan is like a 5-year loan to pay off $50,000 for a shiny car, then that's one thing that can kind of imprison you into that lifestyle. It's a thing you're buying for lifestyle. A lot of people think it will improve their lifestyle, but what it's actually doing is that it's imprisoning you to that lifestyle, or imprisoning you to debt, to pay off debt. You know, you know, that's the big paradox when it comes to lifestyle, is that oftentimes the things we think will improve our lifestyle is actually making it a lot worse. So if you're driving around in a shiny car, but it costs you like 1 year's worth of wages every 4 to 5 years to pay off that car, is it really worth it? Probably not. So, lifestyle imprisonment. When it comes to things that are locking people into the rat race, locking people into almost having to work as an employee in a job, and at least making the escape a lot more difficult, is loans, debts, mortgages. And the way I see it, it tends to be a few big ones, which is a house loan, a mortgage. These are the big ones, the big common ones. A house loan, a mortgage, car loans, student loans, and credit cards, or what's it called in English? Credit cards, or yeah, kind of general loans for expenses. You know, those four seems to me to be the big four common types of loans that are imprisoning people to loans. It says in the Bible that the the debtor is the bar the debtor is the slave of the borrower. I'm kind of butchering the quote. My Bible is in Norwegian, but yeah, basically that the people that are borrowing often ends up as a kind of slave to the people that has loaned that money out to them. And oftentimes it's pretty spot on. In The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco, he kind of talks, yeah, his view on debt is basically that it's always bad, or pretty much always bad. That's the way it seems that his view on debt is. When it comes to Robert Kiyosaki, on the other hand, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, those books, he talks about good debt versus bad debt. And he defines it as good debt is debt that is generating an income. Debt, for example, that you have used as leverage to help you buy an asset. For example, if you loan 70 to 80% to buy a building with 10 apartments, and you're renting out those apartments and generating a profit every month, then he defines that as good debt, because it's debt used as leverage to generate an income. So it's income generating, where kind of inflation is paying up paying off a lot of the debt for you. Inflation-induced debt reduction. And this in these days where inflation is so high, money is kind of different from what it used to be when inflation wasn't such a big thing. So I think that plays into it and something to think about. Because in the Bible, it also says in the parable about the talents. You know, the guy that got 5 talents and doubled it, he made a good job. But then when it came to the guy, they only got when it came to the guy that got 1 talent and he didn't double it, he didn't increase it. When the owner came back, he scolded him, and one of the things he said that at least you could have borrowed it, at least you could have given it to the lenders so that they could have borrowed it out, so that you could have gotten it back with interest. Again, my Bible is in Norwegian, so I'm probably butchering this a bit, but in that verse, it talks about debt and loans in a positive way where he should have done it. So to me, it's not clear that the Bible is always negative about loans, but it's a big trap, especially these days. But when you look at almost the whole economic system these days is based on loans and debt. But yeah, at least trying to avoid it when it comes to personal loans and loans that are not generating an income. Lifestyle imprisonment. Avoid it. By the way, when it comes to the book, The Millionaire FASTLANE by MJ DEMARCO, apart from some of his views on loans, debt, and inflation and cost of living, apart from that, there's a lot of solid stuff in that book. A really fascinating read. It's one of the classics out there. So yeah, it's recommended. By the way, MJ DeMarco, he launched the Fastlane forum. I'm not sure when he launched it. It's about something like 20 years ago, I think. And he launched it as a forum. It used to be free, but I got an email from him. I think it was a few months ago or about a year ago, something like that, where basically he announced that from now on, or from then on, he would have a paid option as well. So now he has kind of switched a lot of the business model on the Fastlane forum into a paid community. Now he's kind of listed it as a paid community, so you can decide to become a paid member. And there's, as the time of this recording, it's 3 different options to choose from, starting at $7 per month. And that's interesting. So why did he change it from being a forum to a paid community? Probably a bunch of reasons, but yeah, it's interesting. It also says something about, when something is paid, it often tends to be of higher quality and also be taken more seriously. So it it would be interesting to see how the changes have been to the Fastlane forum from when he launched it, and from when he launched the paid version, to see how the changes have been. Because the way I understand it, the Fastlane forum used to be very big, but then Facebook gained popularity, especially Facebook groups. And then I think the popularity really went down, as it did with a lot of forums out there, because forums used to be really big. And now he's kind of changing it to a paid community. So that's interesting. Yeah. It's kind of different though when it's when it used to be a forum, changing it to a paid community. But yeah. Anyway, if you want to learn from real life success stories when it comes to running a paid community, I'm in the process of interviewing 30, at least 30, real life success stories of people that are making at least $10,000 in profit per month from running a paid community. So if you want to learn from those, as well as connect with a bunch of other people that are also building a paid community, you should check out communitycashcows.com. You can also find it on terrific30.com. Me and technology. I'm even struggling to end a Zoom call. Crazy. You know, this technology world. About 50 years ago, people were daydreaming about people in 2024 would probably be driving around in flying cars. No, that's not happening very much. Here we are, struggling to end a video call. Anyway, take care. God bless.